All right, so one episode left, and this season will come to a wrap. So I wish I had called things a little earlier.
Yeah.
So maybe about 5 to 10 minutes in, I called two major things, which was that Chucky was going to get Junior to kill, and that kids killing was going to be some kind of voodoo magic because he was so focused on getting kids killed. And God, if I could have just come up with it an episode earlier, I would have looked so smart on here. But
okay.
Now it just looks like I'm lying.
No.
I have a witness, I guess, but
yes.
you're biased.
Yeah, but
You'd
I
lie
would
for
never...
me. No,
yes.
I don't know if
well, it depends. But in this case...
in this case, I don't think
I'm not lying, and
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I came up with it a little too late, but I guess a little still early-ish.
Yeah, before the end of the episode.
Yeah, we get the real Cult of Chucky at the end of this one.
Oh my gosh, so many Good Guys dolls. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So cool to see that.
So, twice the grieving, double the loss. We've got Lexi's mom being mega cunt of the year, as usual.
She just keeps getting worse, honestly.
She only cares about herself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing new here, but I feel like, yeah, she is getting progressively worse throughout the show to where now she's just straight up villain.
I mean, she's so self-absorbed. Like, she doesn't even have a filter for when it's appropriate and inappropriate to be, you know, like at the funeral when she says that she has a meeting at 3, or, you know, even whenever she's addressing the press about all of the killings and is like, actually, this is a great day because we get to move forward and here's this charity for, and she has to look at her paper. She doesn't even know what the charity's for. So, yeah, she's horrible.
I mean, the prediction here, and this I feel like will be a more than likely, I would say 99% for me, is that the big showdown will be at Frankenstein's theater showing. There's a celebrity guest who's auctioning something off. Obviously, this will be Tiffany or Jennifer Tilly, as they'll know her, and I'm assuming they'll be auctioning off a Good Guys doll, right? I mean, this is what one could assume. As soon as I saw the Frankenstein thing, I was like, oh, it's going to be a theater massacre. But even before they had revealed that it was going to be Frankenstein, I was like, oh, this is where the big showdown is going to be. It's going to be some, soiree, or it's going to be some kind of event where Chucky's going to come with other Chuckies, and, whether it was just Nica or in the doll and Tiffany or something. I knew something was going down there. I sure as fuck did not think there was going to be 100 plus Chuckies.
Yeah, I didn't either. I mean, I guess, well, I don't know, okay, because the box that Tiffany receives, we still haven't seen what's inside that, but I suppose it could be just one, but it wouldn't make sense for it to be just a regular Good Guys doll at this point. I still think it's going to be either the Tiffany doll or maybe Glenn or Glenda. Do you think...
I mean, it's possible that it's just another Chucky doll because she's getting so many of them.
So she's just ordering them and they're all receiving. Because that was where that guy was headed, right? The delivery person that Jake runs into at the bus stop. The courier, yeah. Courier. Do you think that at the Frankenstein showing that Chucky or Tiffany or somebody is going to have an "it's alive" kind of a line?
Well, I mean, obviously... the fourth Child's Play film is a play on Bride of Chucky, right? So we already have Chucky nods and another John Carpenter nod here with his name on a tombstone in the opening credits here. But do I think that they'll do some famous line mocking something from Frankenstein? Yeah, I mean, it's possible, for sure. I mean, they definitely like to wear their horror homages on their sleeves. So it's definitely possible.
I hope they do. I think it'll be fun.
My gripe I shouldn't even call it a gripe, but my thing I was going to point out that I thought was a little too convenient, but then it kind of answered itself for me, I guess. I mean, it's still fairly convenient, but I was like, really, Jake just so happens to come across a courier that's bringing a Chucky doll out in the open, not wrapped up, because the one Tiffany has is wrapped up. This one is just out in the open. That seemed a little unbelievable to me, but that being said, it's still a little ridiculous. It's still a little convenient, but the fact that she has so fucking many, that she's probably been bringing these things, because you have to remember, I mean, she just got this place. Like, she just got this from the real estate agent, right? So, and her car was not filled with them. No. I don't know where she was keeping these dolls. I don't know if they were just breaking in there and putting them down in the basement, but you would think that the real estate agent or someone would do an inspection of the house, especially when she's showing it. You know, and if they just bought it, then she had to bring them there. So she had a storage unit of them, or she's been having a ton shipped there. So if she did have a lot shipped there recently, you know, that makes the likelihood that Jake would run across one going to the house a little higher. Not very high, still pretty low, but a little better, where I was like, okay, she's sending like 100 of them to this house. The fact that it's just out in the open like that is a little silly to me. Yeah. But it's for plot convenience. I don't really care. I just, when I saw it, I was like, and I'm more trying to find a reason to accept it.
Yeah, I mean, I think your reasoning of, you know, she's having a ton shipped there, so there's a chance that he would run across somebody delivering it. It being unwrapped, I don't really have an explanation for that. When I saw him, I actually first thought that he was some guy going to like a convention or something for like antique or like collector dolls or whatever. So I was a little surprised that he ended up being a delivery man, but it's fine. It's not a huge issue with me, at least. But yeah, definitely convenient.
I definitely have some proof here. You guys can't read this.
The other thing that you called?
But my second note here is, will Chucky turn junior? And then about halfway through, it was, why does Chucky want to corrupt a kid so bad? Voodoo? Is it part of a voodoo spell? I'm assuming what this is that, and I had said that probably, and I told her, I looked over and I was like, oh, I know what's going on. Yeah. It was maybe about halfway through the episode, and I was like, I fucking figured it out. I know what Chucky's doing. Because I've been trying to figure out why. What is this? I thought, and we all kind of were leaning more towards lineage. And for a second, I thought I was going to be wrong when he called Junior's dad for a second. And I'm like, wait, it like kind of for a second, and I'm like, wait, he's not old enough to be his father, so that wouldn't work, so never mind. But I was like, oh shit, is it family thing? Like, is Jake actually, like, I thought, like, oh, maybe it's his kid, or maybe we're going to go down that route. But about 20 minutes into this episode, I just looked over her, and I was like, I figured it out. I was like, he needs to corrupt a child. It's specifically, because I was going through all the people, because I was like, now he's going to go after Junior, because once I proposed the, is he going to turn Junior thing, I started thinking about, like, why doesn't he ever try to change it? Why doesn't he ever try to, like, do this to an adult? Why doesn't he ever go after a person? So, like, that got my brain just clicking along and being like, why a kid? And I'm like, well, kids are innocent, right? And he did it to Lexi. He did it to Lexi's sister. He did it to Jake. He's not. And I was like, why is it children? And I'm like, it has to do, and voodoo, right? I mean, they even point out it's not just a nod to the original that he's into voodoo. He's researching it on his own. It's his hobby, right? He's found this spell where he can do the ultimate Horcrux, right? And he can multiply it by now. What is the ritual? I don't know. Is it literally every good guy's doll on the planet?
Oh my god.
Like, is it everyone? Because I don't know. Is it everyone? Because think about it. Would the voodoo curse really apply to if she has made a transaction? Like, oh, it has to be yours. That one wasn't the one that Jake takes and buys for $350 plus tip. I would have paid that easy for that fucking doll.
Yeah.
It doesn't get to their house, so it's not in the vicinity of the other dolls.
Sure.
So that leads me to believe that he just kind of has a blanketed voodoo spell
for everything
on all good guy dolls.
Yeah, which is terrifying to think of, and it would be great if that is what ends up happening, especially if we get scenes of like people in other countries, like some kid in Japan.
Oh
who's
no!
Good guy's doll.
Made in Japan.
Yeah, it comes to life. I don't know. I don't know what exactly the ritual is, but I was thinking proximity for a moment. I guess it could still be Hackensack as the proximity. Like we could expand the radius, not just in that house.
That's true.
You know, and what you were saying earlier too, like I really wasn't thinking outside of family, like lineage, until this episode. And something that happened in this episode that made me think it still might be that was also when Tiffany shows up to Junior's house and says that she's bringing Swedish meatballs to his dad because they're his favorite, which they're her favorite. So, and Chucky's, right? So I was kind of thrown off by that comment that she made, but I think her purpose right now, and I think we talked about it during the episode, or you mentioned it, like her showing up to the funeral was purely to antagonize Junior. So she in some way is in contact, or else this has already been planned, which I don't know. I don't know if the main, like if the Chucky that's in Nica is able to, you know what I mean? Like if that's how she's kind of in contact with the other Chucky dolls and the one that is already in Hackensack.
So I guess a question would be, can Chucky communicate telepathically with other Chucky? Like does one Chucky know what the other Chucky's thinking? Mm-hmm. I don't think so.
But they're all this, it's all him.
It is all him, but I think it's fragments that start from the genesis of like the voodoo spell. Sure. You know, like if you were to branch me off right now into 3 other bodies, yes, we'd all have the same memories until that moment.
So you don't think
then every one of them is going to go off and experience different things.
Yeah, I don't know. Right? I kind of feel like the core Chucky is maybe able to control them in some way, but even if that's not the case, I think that because they are all like parts of him, that maybe they all ultimately have the same goal anyway. So.
But there is no core Chucky anymore.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like Chucky, I don't think.
You don't think that the one that's in Nica?
The original Chucky doll, I mean, was blown up.
Well, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they scraped him down, and then they made him, and then his blood went into a vat in the third one. Mm-hmm. And then Tiffany gets that doll, supposedly. And then Chucky takes over a completely new body in Seed of Chucky, one of the animatronics on the set of the Chucky movie. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, so I guess you're right. There isn't really a core of him anymore, but I guess when I say core, I just mean him prior to whenever he splinters off into others.
Sure, others. So like once he splits it as opposed to just being in one doll at a time, that's core. I don't know. I mean, because he puts his entire self into one. Mm. But then Tiffany's the one who brings him back in Bride of Chucky. Like he didn't change his soul over. She just brought him back from the dead in that same body that was chopped up in part 3. Mm-hmm. So anyways, moving on from that. Who knows?
I don't know. It's interesting though. We'll see maybe if they address that.
Yeah, I don't know if Jennifer Tilly, and that's another thing, right? Like when it comes to Logan, I'm like, okay, does he know her at all? It feels like he does. Another part of me thinks she's just there to antagonize, but at the same time, she kind of wants nothing to do with Chucky now. Mm-hmm. But that's a passing phase. We all know it. You know, they're salt and pepper, right? They're a matching set. Tiffany's always going to be Chucky's girl, kind of like Harley Quinn with the Joker or something. It's like they'll break up and then they'll get back together in like a week. So the question is going to be with Tiffany and Logan. I guess Logan's out of the picture now, right? Like he's dead for sure. The spell wouldn't have worked otherwise, so he's definitely dead. Did he know her at all? I'm going to assume he did. But did he know Tiffany? Or did he know Jennifer Tilly? Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm not clear on. On if he had a... But it's Hackensack where Charles Lee Ray is from. And Tiffany and him would have definitely been in the New Jersey area. So it makes more sense to me that it would be Tiffany he knew. But he is rich, so it's possible he's met Jennifer Tilly.
As Tiffany or as Jennifer Tilly?
As Tiffany, because she's been
Sure.
Tiffany for a while now.
Yeah, that's what I would think too.
Yeah.
I'm unsure. I'm unsure if he knew her in the past when she was in her original body, or if he knew her as Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, but I agree with you.
Or if they knew each other at all.
Yeah, well,
But
I
I'm
do
pretty
feel like
sure,
he has
yeah.
a moment of recognition in
Sure.
some sense. But
Well, he seems shocked that she's
Yes.
there. And I thought he was more going to be like, why the fuck is Jennifer Tilly
Sure. Like,
at
why did
my
she come
funeral?
and kiss me?
But
Yeah.
no, he knows her. He would have been like, who the fuck are you? And she like leaned in to kiss. So
Yeah.
I think we can just 100% confirm he knows her.
Mm-hmm.
But why? And was it Tiffany? Or was it Jennifer Tilly? Or was it Tiffany in Jennifer Tilly's body? So we have three options
Yeah.
there.
I don't know. I don't really have a...
I'm going to say Jennifer Tilly with Tiffany inside of her is the most likely for me.
I'm kind of feeling that too, only because I think she's been sort of trying to come back to Hackensack for a little bit and maybe met him when she was coming to look at the house or something, you know? But
Yeah.
I also don't know because it's like
How does he
the
make his money?
flashback that I have no idea, but the flashback that we get when Tiff goes back to the house and Chucky's killing somebody without her and
Yeah,
she's
it's like
angry.
cheating.
Well, yeah, I sort of see her like going off, obviously, and trying to be with somebody else, and maybe she
It's
meets
Logan.
Logan. Yeah.
It's possible. So that would be Tiffany in Tiffany's body.
Yeah.
And they, she cheated on him to get back at him, and that's how they know each other. But I don't know. That's like 30 years ago.
Sure.
And she just randomly shows up, and he's like, what
It's
are you
like, I
doing
know that
here?
voice.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's more recent.
I agree. I think that, but yeah, I could see it potentially being something from the past. But I agree with you. I'm going to lean more towards he knows her in Jennifer Tilly's body.
Yeah,
So,
but why? I mean, like, what purpose will it serve to the story?
right.
Right? Like, how is it going to affect the story? Will it play into why Jake was chosen specifically? Because it couldn't be a lineage thing. Because I'm thinking, oh, you got Jake and you got Junior, they're related, but Lexi and Lexi's sister are not related. So that's outside of the family, so to speak. So it's not lineage. I feel like it's just any kid.
I do too.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
don't
it's
think
any
it
child. I feel like he has to corrupt them. He has to convince them to kill. Which is kind of odd to me because Chucky does agree to go kill Lexi himself. Right? And maybe it'll be like a you owe me one thing. Like,
Maybe.
why was he doing it himself if he wanted Jake to do it? Like, I feel like he should have been very adamant. Like, no, you need to do it. I need you to do it. Because Lexi's really the person... Because it's like, hey, you should kill your dad.
Well,
and then he kills his dad for him. And it's like, hey, I killed your dad for you. It's time for you to man up. You need to kill Lexi. So I feel like him going to kill Lexi and his father, like the two people that he could really get him to kill, those were like the only two people he would want to kill. It seems odd to me that he would go ahead and just kill them for him.
Well, with Lexi, though, I mean, Jake tells him to go do it. So perhaps it's the same kind of, function as Jake doing it himself. Because it's like a tool, right? Like he's using Chucky to go kill her, but obviously
Maybe.
it doesn't work with his dad because his dad is an adult.
He has
needs
to
be a
agree to it.
child. Yeah.
I just feel like Chucky would not fail.
If it
Like
was
we kind of
possible.
get left off at that Chucky is in a burning room with Lexi, and Lexi somehow escapes. We don't find out how. They're just kind of stuck in a burning room together, and then it just cuts and they're in the hospital.
Right.
So like, how the hell did she get away from him? I mean, I guess she just ran, right? But I just feel like Chucky's so relentless. But he has to have Jake's permission. Like, he would just keep hunting Lexi thinking he had Jake's permission. But I guess Jake
He changes his mind, yeah, so he kind of retracts that. I don't know, I'm not really...
So he has to be, like, committed to it while Chucky's doing it.
That would be my argument for why he was trying to kill Lexi in general. And why
He immediately regrets it and changes his mind the
Yes.
second he hears sirens. So unless that was... He'd already done it by that point.
Yes.
He was already going to change his mind. I think he has to do it by his own hand, personally. I think that's what makes sense.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I was just mostly trying to find a reason
Sure.
for why he would try and kill Lexi instead of forcing Jake to do it. So
I appreciate the devil's advocate. I'm always that guy too. I think it's by your hand.
yeah,
You have to corrupt. And as I said to her, like, I think it's like a part of your soul is fragmented when you kill somebody willingly, you know, for selfish reasons, not like in self-defense or something, but like, you know, you're straight up just murdering someone because you're upset with them or something. Like, I feel like, yeah, part of your soul dies or goes, you know, is up for grabs, or you know, it gives Chucky unlimited power if he can corrupt the innocent, which is what that is. So, and Junior was always going to be the best target for him here.
for sure.
You know?
Yeah, he's been very miffed by everything that's going on with, you know, Jake and Lexi and Dev. He's like, you know, been pushed out of it, and he obviously feels some you know, resentment towards Jake when he comes in. Like, he's definitely, aside from Jake, he was and is the most troubled character as far as the kids go. So,
for sure.
yeah. I mean, I was still, like, for several episodes, though, I was very, very much wanting Lexi's sister to be the person that was corrupted. And I actually still think there's a chance that could happen. If she ends up killing her mom, I will be very happy because, you know, at the press conference, I don't know. I mean, she's like a weirdly likable and adorable and like just strange, and it just makes sense that she would be the one to kill her mom. But at the press conference, you know, when the reporter asks her if she wants to be mayor, she's just like, Chucky told me to kill my mom.
And my dad.
And my dad and you. Well, she says that to Lexi. And Lexi's like, just kills her right there now. But
I thought for a little bit, until I thought maybe it was going to be revealed that their dad wasn't their dad, and that, you know, they were gonna find out like a little later on, but it wouldn't have worked. It's just these things that you spitball in your head really quick, because the same actor plays a character in this that played a character in Curse of Chucky. I was like, would it be wild if that is the same person? It's just Chucky's been inhabiting his body.
Oh my gosh.
Like he took over his dead body and brought him back to life.
It would be wild.
But I don't think he can. I don't think he can bring someone dead back to life. That'd be pretty... I mean, he'd just go into a morgue and just have a fucking army of like zombie Chuckies. Yeah. Right? So
be great.
I think, he definitely needs to take over. But the ritual always is that, you know, he has to turn the soul of the first person he reveals his secret to, which ends up being a child. But now that's obviously changed, now that he's learned more about voodoo. I guess, you know, that guy probably just taught him one aspect of voodoo, right? And then when Chucky looked more into it, he was like, this is bullshit. There's way more ways that I can do this.
There's so much more I can do.
Sure.
Well, and
he went to Hogwarts.
Yeah, now that we talk about it, though, I mean, he's inhabiting an inanimate object, a doll, which looks like a person. So who's to say he couldn't inhabit a dead body? Because it is an inanimate object at that point.
Sure.
So that would be possible, potentially.
Yeah.
Which would be cool.
I just thought it'd be an interesting reveal that
Yeah.
is the same guy because he's playing. I mean,
and it's in the same universe though too, as Curse.
It's just
so why? I mean, it
is weird.
It could just be the actor.
It is weird
fine.
because it's like
but it's
he looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
I could understand if they changed his hairstyle and they changed anything about
it would be so crazy.
He looks exactly the
same.
If
Nica like sees him at some point, is like recognizes him, and that's how they do. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that idea.
The twin brothers.
Yeah.
We've done enough twins.
I don't want him to be a twin. I want him just to be the doctor, the psychiatrist.
Got Logan and
Lucas.
Lucas, thank you.
Yeah.
We got enough. Yeah, the loser twins. That's right. He calls him that like he knows it.
Yes, that was another thing too that I noticed.
So that would mean that Chucky knew him too, or that Tiffany told him stuff about him.
Yeah.
It was like her first boyfriend. You know, I don't fucking know.
I don't know. Another thing that you called though in this episode was when Devin goes over to the house that Nica's at, Charles Lee Ray's old house, and she's screaming for help.
Oh yeah.
And
this was so
you were
obvious.
like, he's gonna stand up. That's Chucky.
Well, yeah, I was like, well, they're setting this up to where it's going to be the twist that Nica stands, which immediately makes us know that it's Chucky. That wasn't a hard one to call. That was just the way it was being framed, and I knew the angles. You can just see that they're going to do the reveal stand. Right? Like, yeah, that one was simple.
It was great though. It was a good twist, and yeah, I mean, he can imitate her voice the same way she can imitate his. So
yeah,
cool.
I mean, it is odd that he's able to do that. Like, but he wants to trick people. Devin doesn't know what she sounds like.
No.
But we do.
Right, it's
so
for
that's
the
more
audience.
for the audience.
Yeah.
He could have just done his own, like, not his own voice, but changed it a little. Just embraced the female that he's in. And just let, like, you know, those higher pitches hit.
Just naturally come through.
Yeah.
But Devin, I mean, knows what Chucky sounds like.
But that was Nica.
But that was Nica.
That was Nica. Like, we know Nica.
Yeah.
Right? Those are her mannerisms.
Yes.
That's the way she talks. Like, that's for the audience.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Chucky wouldn't imitate her that well to somebody who doesn't know who she is. That, I don't care at all. I'm just saying that is purposely there to trick us.
Sure.
It was purposely there. Chucky wouldn't do that for Devin.
No, but I mean, I just like it because it gives us, there's a lot that they can play with who's in the body, who's in control right now. If both of them can kind of imitate the other, there's a lot of, just potential to play around with that. And I think that's just cool. I like that element.
We got the kind of, I guess you could call it the breakup of Jake and Devin.
Yeah.
But now Devin has become the damsel in distress.
Jake's gonna go save him.
And Jake and Lexi are gonna... And Lexi, I mean, Lexi's come so far.
Oh,
she refers to Jake as family.
Yes.
Like the family you chose. Like, she genuinely cares that he was gonna leave without telling her. She's like, what about me?
Yeah, do you think
like,
we
we're
wouldn't
family
get this?
now. Like, we're family born in blood, and yeah, I mean, they were able to do it. They're able to win me over on Lexi. Like, I am on her side. It is odd to me, though, that her and her sister seem to bond over ripping dolls' heads off.
Yeah,
and then she tries to touch her in front of the crowd, and she, like, pulls away from her.
Yes.
Like, don't fucking touch me.
Yes.
So it's odd because it felt like they were bonding and they were having a good time. But I guess if you really think about it, she only really bonded with her because they were committing a violent act.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, is that she's enjoying the violence.
Yeah, like, let's rip the fucking heads off bodies.
But then when she goes to touch her in like a comforting,
Right.
sisterly way, she's like,
no. Ugh, I don't want any of that.
Yeah, so that definitely shows a lot about her character, and I guess just her mental state too. Her sister's obviously got some issues, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, okay, the speculation, which might get revealed here in the next episode, is people are saying, and I haven't went back, and I think maybe I did go back and look, but I don't see 100% confirmation, that Tiffany is the one who leaves the doll at the yard sale that Jake buys him from. It is funny to me that in the first episode, Jake pays $10
$20
or $10.
I thought it was 20.
She says 20. He's like
Says
10, and she's like,
what's
it's
the difference between 10? He's like,
no. She says, what's the difference between retro and
no, they're talking about the pricing, and she's like, what's the difference between 20 and 10?
No.
And he's like, it's
no, it's the opposite. It's
I thought it was the pricing.
She's like, yeah, it's vintage, and he's like, no, it's retro. And she's like, what's the difference? And he's like, about $10.
You're right, yeah.
So it's funny to me that he paid $10 for his first good guy doll, and then about $500 for a second, and he actually wanted the first one and paid less.
Yeah.
And he did not want the second one. I guess he did want the second one, but he
Yeah.
didn't want that one in his life. Just a cute little
that's funny.
observation. Now, yeah, I mean, so we got an army of Chuckies, about, we'll just say 100, between 50 and 100. Now, whether or not every Chucky doll will come to life, I'm gonna go with every good guy doll.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with
too.
worldwide.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, maybe you're right. Maybe it's like Hackensack, right? Because they make such a big deal about this as his
hometown.
I guess, yeah. I mean, why would he return to Hackensack specifically? Unless it has something to do with one of the families. Like Tiffany's like, I want to go after my ex-boyfriend's family. Or, I don't know. But it is very possible, because it is Hackensack, because it is his birthplace, that has something to do with, like, you can put a curse on an entire town. Which I guess that could be it. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm gonna lean towards it's his birthplace. He has to do it in his birthplace.
I don't know if that means that it's not necessarily.
And they go after somebody who Tiffany's familiar with, just because they can manipulate the family a little better with inside info. Like, hey, I know some twins who have some serious troubles, and they've probably fucked their kids up. If I know them, they were drunks, they were they were assholes. One was a homophobe, and the other one was, total dickhead. I guess that would make them both dickheads. You know what I'm saying, though? Then she's like, look, if anyone's going to be corruptible, it would be these guys' kids.
Yeah.
You have, double the chances here.
I agree with you. I think that they chose them because they knew them from the past, or she did, or something. But I think that it's still possible that he maybe needed to return to his birth town for the voodoo spell, but that doesn't mean that it's not a worldwide
I agree, pandemic. But I just feel like because it is his birthplace, that it would curse the land of his birthplace.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I can see it both ways, yeah.
It could be worldwide.
I think I just really
prefer
want the
it to be worldwide.
Of, worldwide Chucky domination.
Because then that would set up multiple seasons.
Oh, it opens up so much.
That opens up the world, literally.
Which is super cool.
Which then you could, because Mancini has talked about how, and I know a lot of people will roll their eyes at this, but I do think we might see this eventually. He's very open and wants to take Chucky to space. So
astronaut.
You could see Chucky. I don't think he'd make an entire season about it or anything. Well, but I could see him just being like, I want to get my doll to space. I want to be one of the franchises that went to space, along with Jason, along with Pinhead, along with Leprechaun. I want to get to space with my character because we're so far into this franchise. I could see them, astronauts, taking a good guy's doll up with them.
Oh my God.
And just it coming to life, while they're blasting off or up there in the space station.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah, the International Space Station. They just have a good guy's doll there, and he just comes to life up there.
That would be so.
And so we just, for a 10-second scene, we just see Chucky in space, and he's coming. He's floating towards an astronaut. with like some, space knife.
Space
I don't think they have fucking like butcher knives up there, right? So I don't know what the fuck. You'd have to grab something.
Space knife.
Space knife.
I
He just
love
like
that.
ejects some guy out of a fucking airlock.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I could see that happening. I
That
could
would
see
be
that being like the
fantastic.
last shot of this
I could
season.
too.
No, not the last shot, but maybe like a post credits.
Oh gosh, I want it to happen so
just-
bad now. Because that just sounds wonderful.
But yeah, just as you said, or more in where Kayla was going with a montage of like Chucky's in different countries. Now, would Chucky speak, Spanish or Japanese? I wouldn't think so. He's still just Charles Lee
speaking
Ray.
English with a New Jersey accent.
But I could
Just
see the people around him would be speaking a different language.
Yeah. But the Good Guys dolls would presumably be programmed for other languages.
Yeah, but that doesn't
right?
mean it's
Like to
that's
say,
not
"Hi, my
Chucky,
Yeah.
right? That's the doll.
Yeah.
He doesn't take on their voice box, although he could probably speak in Spanish with the voice box inside of him. Mm-hmm. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Me amo Chuck.
Yeah, me llamo Chucky.
Yeah.
My
Pretty good.
nombre.
It'd be really cool.
Yeah. So, as far as we got 100 Chuckies, give or take, potentially millions. I mean, how many Good Guys were sold back then? It was the most popular item on the planet back in 1988. So I'm assuming there's fucking
Tons.
thousands,
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of them out there. So could we see that? Very likely. I mean, it's very possible. But I do think that we're going to see an army of Chuckies coming into a theater and just straight up massacring everyone in attendance.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah, if that happens. I mean, we might just all stay at Charles Lee Ray's house at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Possible.
But why would they bring up the Frankenstein? Why would they bring up the celebrity guest?
I think it's gonna
It has
be
to
there.
take place
Yeah,
there.
it's gonna be there for sure.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, they know now why Jake knows where Devin is. Does he have like find a friend on
He
his
has
phone?
his Snapchat, which shares your location.
Does it? Shares your location?
You can turn it on, but yeah, it shows like you're on your Snap map, like where you. I think that's what it's called, like where you are.
I need a snatch map.
Snatch map.
Yeah.
To know where your snatch is.
No comment. I mean, so they know where he's at.
Yep.
And Andy arrives. And we haven't even talked about Andy.
I mean, the main thing with Andy this episode is that
He
he
leaves Kyle behind.
because
Yeah.
he's trying to protect her. Although, like you said, it doesn't really stop her. It just splits them up. So she's definitely going to show up last minute
100%.
and be a little hero, which is good. But she might end up still dying too. Like it might be totally pointless for whatever he does, which I hope she doesn't. And I don't necessarily see that happening, but I kind of could see it as a possibility.
I think we'll get a big death next episode.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, we're season finale. We're going to we'll probably see the death of Lexi's mom.
Yes.
That's pretty much a guarantee. As far as unexpected deaths, if I had to go out and say an unexpected death, I'm going to go with Devin.
Me too. I think Devin's gonna die.
Because it'll hurt Jake the most.
Yes.
And it'll make him want revenge, and he'll kind of take Andy's role of like,
Yes.
you stole my fucking life.
Yes, that's what I think too. I think it's definitely gonna be Devin.
So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
But until next week, I suppose. This is going to be a shame not to talk about this anymore
know.
once this is
What are we
over.
gonna
But
do?
we better get a season 2. And we have plenty of other shows. We do review Day of the Dead for all of you who don't watch it.
Should watch
It's on
it.
the same channel, man.
Yeah, and it's fun.
It is fun. It is fun. We're enjoying it. And we're also reviewing Yellow Jackets on
is super
Showtime
cool.
and Dexter,
Which
New
is
Blood.
also super cool.
So we're reviewing
some
a lot
good
of cool shows right now, and then we're gonna pick up. This is gonna be a regular thing. We're definitely gonna be taking on more shows. It's really fun to talk about week to week. This is the downside of the binge shows on Netflix or something where they release it all at once. You can't really do this.
Yeah.
And this is the fun of it. It is shitty to wait. I don't like waiting for the new Chucky episode, but I I do enjoy this.
Yes.
You know, I do enjoy this. Maybe if they spread them out by like a day or two,
Yeah.
then we could do this, and then we get them a little quicker.
Yeah.
But it'd already be over.
It'd be
like
over
a
so
while
fast.
ago.
Yeah, it's a
So,
double-edged sword. It's
yes,
like
yes.
I'd like them all at once, but I also like look forward to it every week, and it's exciting to have that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like, I don't even want this thing to end because I know there's only one left.
I know.
Same thing will happen in the next one, whatever. Anyways, what do you guys think of this episode? And what's your predictions? Did you call any of this? Were you on to the fact that Junior was going to be the one to be changed? The voodoo curse having to do with corrupting innocence? 100 Chuckies? Bullshit. I don't think anybody called that one. And who do you got on the docket of carnage for next week?
Who's gonna be moitered?
100% guaranteed. I will eat my words so hard if Lexi's mom makes it through the next episode. There's
She
like
better not.
no chance in my mind.
No.
She'll be murdered at.
The Frank
Now,
ball.
will it be by her daughter or will it be by someone else? Chucky. I don't know. I'll go with a tag team of Chucky and the daughter.
Ooh, I like that. That'll be fun. Where she's having like a blast and Chucky's like enjoying
Like
it
stabbing
too.
them together.
Oh man, that will be awesome if that happens.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully next time we'll see you in space. Bye.
Dun, dun, dun.